My name is Bill Zouhary, and it's just a joy to be with you all. First I want to wish you a happy May Day, May 1st. You know, when I was a kid, we go into March. I don't know if you had this experience, but the weather was balmy. It wasn't hot, but you didn't have to wear a jacket. It was windy, and you could go out and fly kites, right? Then April it rained, and then in May, April showers brought May flowers. It was a great time. Everything's changed. Al Gore and his global warming dumb science has really screwed up all of my memories, you know. In fact, yesterday I saw that Vermont had 2 foot of snow, and the pictures just depressed me. I like snow, but the pictures depressed me. What else is special about May 1st? Well, in many countries, May Day is synonymous with International Workers' Day. It's a day of political demonstrations. I think we're doing that a little bit today. And organized by various unions, anarchists, and social groups. I guess maybe we fit in the third group. Except for Dan here, he's kind of an anarchist. Dan's an anarchist, so get to know him while you're here.
Ponytail I got at home.
Probably for me, May Day, when I think of May Day, I think of that emergency code that's used, the international sign for distress. And my mind is, I've got an inquisitive mind, so I had to figure out, where the heck did that come from? Why did they just say help, help, help? Why did they say May Day, you know? Well, I did a little research. And I found out that in World War I, the French pilots were fighting the Red Baron. And when they got hit, they would say on their microphone or whatever they were using, Vene Mayday. And the English, they like to anglicize everything. They were hearing them say Vene Mayday. And that's where it comes from. Vene Mayday means in French, come help me. And that's what we're all about today. Come help me. Come help my family. Come help our country. Because we are in so much trouble. It really is a distress call. In fact, if any of you get my email, I get in trouble every once in a while because I put the flag upside down. I had one woman who doesn't even get the email, and she got mad because somebody keeps sending it to her. And she called me, she looked my name up, and called me and wanted to know why I was dissing the flag. You know, and I said, I'm not dissing the flag. I said, we're in distress in this country, and that's an international sign. Well, she didn't like that answer. So I haven't heard from her since. But I did realize, looking at the program, the Perrysburg Tea Party doesn't have any kind of a logo. So I designed one back there with that upside down flag, which I'm going to have for the next time we all get together. My topic, kind of tongue-in-cheek, is community organizing. It works in Chicago, and I thought, well, who knows? In fact, by the way, how many of you, just raise your hand if you know, how many of you know who your state senator is? How many? Raise them high so I can see. About half the room, okay? Picture, in 2 years, that person being president of the United States. Because that's what we ended up with. A community organizer becomes state senator in Illinois. He was there for 2 years, and then he got elected to the U.S. Senate, campaigned for those 2 years, became president of the United States. That's scary, isn't it? That's part of the reason why I fly the flag upside down. Here's the definition of community organizing. Community organizing is a process through which people living in proximity to each other are brought together into an organization that acts in their shared self-interest. Hey, that's us. Nothing wrong with that. Unlike those who promote more consensual community building, community organizers generally assume that social change necessarily involves conflict, which I don't, and social struggle, well, struggle of words anyway, in order to generate collective powers for the powerless. Well, the neat thing about being with other patriots, most of them aren't powerless. In fact, I went out to meet with the Erie County group. We had some representation here, and I showed up that night in Sandusky, and man, they all had smoke coming out their ears. It was just exciting being with other patriots. A core goal of community organizing is to generate durable power for an organization representing the community, allowing to influence key decision makers on a range of issues over time. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to influence our senators, our congressmen, our state senators, our state congressmen, wherever we can, even the dog catcher. I don't like pit bulls, but you know, it's amazing to me, for those of you from Toledo, years ago, when a previous mayor, Cardi, who was a councilman, and we were in deep trouble. I got a call from, it was right around the time that they built Seagate. Nobody wanted it. They built Seagate, then they built Portside, or maybe the reverse. I don't remember the history of that. Nobody wanted that. And all of a sudden, I get a call from my sister-in-law, who was a CPA, and she had, their office was in the Spitzer building. And she said, hey, I wanted to give you a heads up, we're moving. I said, you're moving out of Toledo. Well, everybody was leaving Toledo. There was nothing here. It was becoming the start of the ghost town that Bob referenced earlier. And I said, why are you moving? And she said, well, the street people and our clients are getting harassed, and the elevators, and we're just going to move out to West Toledo. And that night I went home, I was really depressed, because I was thinking, Toledo, I mean, we need to have a downtown area. We need to have some vibrancy down here. And I opened the paper, and their city council, with a previous unnamed mayor, Cardi, who they were leading a charge for a cat ordinance. And I thought, what the heck is going on? We're losing jobs in Toledo, we're going downhill, and they got a cat ordinance going on. Guess what? Now they're talking about the pit bull issue. And I'm a dog lover, but I mean, Again?
Yeah, this is gone.
Okay, well, it's a new issue now, and of course we got rid of the dog warden and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, we got all these major problems, and we're worried about issues like that. But I digress. Common aspects of community organizing groups. Organized community groups attempt to influence government, corporations, and institutions, seek to increase direct representation within decision-making bodies, and foster social reform more generally. Where negotiations fail, these organizations seek to inform others outside of the organization of the issues being addressed and expose or pressure the decision makers through a variety of means, including picketing, which I don't think I've ever picketed. Boycotted, I have done some boycotting. Sit-ins, I've never done that. Petitions, yes, and electoral politics. So I kind of saw myself a little bit as a closet community organizer as I read this definition. Organizing groups often seek out issues that they know will generate controversy and conflict. Well, hey, we got enough issues. We can, pick your poison here. Is it cap and trade? Is it health care? Is it the banks being overtaken by the government? Now the school loans being overtaken by the government? It's pretty scary. Thus, community organizing is usually focused on more than just resolving specific issues. In fact, specific issues are often vehicles for other organizational goals as much as they are ends in themselves. Of course, on the other side of the aisle, or the other side of the political spectrum, I see the word control. And you know what? I like freedom. I love to have freedom. I just resist. I don't know how many of you go to church, how many there are evangelical churches, but whenever they have an altar call and they say, we want every head bowed and all eyes closed, I have to admit I peek.